So once you are familiar with binary, the next thing to focus on is how do I add binary numbers together? And so we're going to briefly look at some binary addition facts. And this may look, like kindergarten math to you, and it sort of is. So 0 plus 0 equals 0. 1 plus 0 in whichever order equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. But given that we are writing things in binary, the way that you represent 2 in binary is 1, 0. And 1 plus 1 plus 1, which sometimes we run into with carries, and you'll see some examples of that in just a little bit. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And how do we write 3 in binary? We write 1, 1. So these are our facts that we have to deal with when we are adding. So here's our first example that we're going to work through. 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 0. First of all, it's good when you're doing binary addition to have in your head, what am I actually adding? And so going back to our previous video where we learned about the binary numbering system, what is 1, 0, 1? So if you recall from that, this first position is worth 1. This second position is worth 2, and this third position is worth 4. So I've got 4, nothing here, and 1, which is equal to 5. So 1, 0, 1 is equal to 5. And then 1, 0, this is worth 1, but there's nothing there. This is worth 2, and there's a 1 there. So this is how we write 2. So what I'm really doing here is I'm adding 5 plus 2. Okay. So how do I do that though? Math in binary or addition in binary works exactly the same as it does in decimal, in that you start on the right hand side and using our facts that we just looked at, 1 plus 0 in this, so I'm actually adding this and this, so 1 plus 0 is 1. Let's see if I can click in this box. Well, let's go edit, there we go. Okay, so 1 plus 0 is 1. And then I move over to my next column. 0 plus 1 is 1. And then there's nothing here except this plus sign, so this 1 just drops down to 1. Didn't work out like I thought it would. Okay, so my answer is 1, 1, 1 in binary, which is the equivalent of what? So this is worth 4, this is worth 2, and this is worth 1. The last place is worth 1. So 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 7. And I can see when I'm looking at this decimal form over here, which again is what our brains are familiar with, that I was adding 5 and 2 together and I got 7. But this is what's happening in the computer. This is much easier for our human brains to comprehend. All right, so that was a really simple one. There weren't any carries in that one. So let's look at one that has some carries. First of all, let's do the conversion again so that we know what we're dealing with. So I'm going to start from this side because bigger numbers are easier to add. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So this is worth 16 and this is worth 8. That gets me up to 24. And then nothing, nothing, and 1, which makes 25. So that number or those binary digits equal 25. And then this one, that's worth 4, and that's worth 1, and so that's worth 5. Okay, so I'm really adding 25 plus 5, which is 30, and so that's the solution that I want to get down here. So this one does have a carry. When I start over here and add this 1 plus this 1, that answer is 2. Okay, but I can't write 1, 0 down here. I can write, well, it's hard for me, there we go. I can write the 0, just like I do in decimal addition. When you have a carry, you put the rightmost digit down and you carry the other digit. So I'm going to write my 0 and I'm going to carry my 1. And I don't know if I have a way to do that. Okay, I'm just going to stick it up here. So 0, carry my 1, and now I've got 1 plus 0, which is just 1. So I'm going to put the 1 there, and my things are moving in weird directions. There we go. Let's keep it lined up. Okay, and so I'm done with that second column. So I move over to this third column. 0 plus 1 is is 1. And then there's nothing here or here. So those two values just drop down. So I'm left with 1, 1. Let me get those spaces out of there. Okay. Now, that needs to be equal to 30. So if I go through and I double check myself and I do the math, that's worth 16. That's worth 8. So I'm up to 24. That's worth 4. So I'm up to 28. And that's worth 2. So now I'm up to 30. So, whoop, I keep moving things around. All right. So that is an example of one carry. All right, and we'll do one more example before you get to practice. So again, let's do our conversion. So let's see, this is worth 8 and this is worth 4. So I'm up to 12. And this is worth 2, so I'm up to 14, and 1 is 15. So that value is 15. And here, this is worth 8, nothing for the 4, this is worth 2, so that's 10. All right, so I'm adding 15 and 10 together, which is 25, so I want to double check my answer when I get it and make sure that, that the digits that I get do equal decimal 25. All right, so I start over here. 1 plus 0 is 1, so I don't have to worry about any carries. Ugh, why can't I get in there? There we go. Whoop. All right, 1. All right, and now I'm moving over to the second column. 1 plus 1 is 2, so I put my 0, and I carry that 1. Okay, so 1 plus 1 is 2, put my 0, carry my 1. Now I've got 1 plus 1 plus 0, which again is 2. So I'm going to put my 0 again, carry another 1. Okay, and so now I've got, in this last column, 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3, and I write 3, 1, 1. So I'm going to do that. All right, I think that has everything lined up correctly. Now, notice that I was adding 4 bits and 4 bits initially, and my answer is now 5 bits long, okay, because of that last column. And that's okay when you're doing binary addition. So we want to make sure that this equals 25. So that's worth 16, and that one is worth 8, and that one is worth 1, that last one, and so 16 plus 8 is 24, and 1 does make 25. So we're good. Whoops, equals. All right. So here are you some practice problems. Again, I would get out a scratch piece of paper and I would write those down and go ahead and do the conversions. You know, what am I actually adding together? Double check your answer. You know, just like we did here, double check your answer to make sure that those digits you came up with do in fact equal this. And if they don't, you've made a mistake somewhere. So double check yourself. But you may want to pause this video and do these problems. And then now I'm going to put up the solutions so you can check yourself. And there you go. So you can, again, pause this video and check, and I hope I did everything right. And of course, if I messed up, you let me know so I can correct it.